Hey everyone, it's Anahata. I'm on my favorite beach. Say it with me, in Southwest Florida, Venice. I am super excited. I want to share with you a few things. And most of you know, if you've been following me for a while, that I like to make my things accessible. You know, in fact, my entire life's work, the Anahata Codes, is free. Anyone can download the Book of Codes and start pulling assisting frequencies. Ooh, what a blessing. A crow. I heard him cawing and now he's blessing me. And another one. Wonderful. I'll look up that totem. So accessibility is the thing, is the key, right? And I've been dabbling in gene keys and human design for quite some time. Now, it's an amazing journey, but it also is sort of, at some level, a massive endeavor, right? You really need to pull back the layers and dissect and poke and prod. Gosh, all these crows are just amazing. Hello, another one. How many is that? 7? I don't know. Maybe 6 so far. Anyways, and, you know, my role as a manifesting generator, if you know anything about that, is to take very complex matter, complex ideas, complex complexity, and make it simple. In fact, that's my path, my purpose, when you look at my chart. Now, Gene Keys uses your birthday, the day you were born, the moment you came in and took your first breath, because it's not random. You were being encoded at that time with all the answers you need to navigate your best life, your most expanded life. But if we're going to be real, part of that journey is through unseen grace, is through pain, is through going through the things that we agreed to go through in order to push beyond them and to even heal ancestral lines and things like this. And so there is a mapping. You have free will, of course, but there is an encoding, a holographic memory, if you will, of navigating your pain, navigating your purpose, and there is a path. There is a path. And, you know, consciousness is power. If you are unaware, then you can feel those lower density vibrations of confusion, lack of purpose, overwhelm perhaps, uncertainty. You know, things aren't clear, things are hard. Perhaps you may have fallen into a sort of victim mentality where the world is happening to you. And so the liberation path is one of knowing thyself. That's actually the meaning of life, in case you don't know, is to find meaning. So that's it. That's why we're here. And we're here to discover ourselves and the nature of who we are and how we create, and to embody that highest expression. And this is the lifetime when we're going to do it, because things are accessible. We are coming out of the very bonded, separated, and when I say bonded, I mean just, you know, feeling like we have chains on. But, you know, when you get to the through me phase of consciousness, not phase, but level, you realize everything's happening through you, not to you. And to understand why things are happening the way they are, again, we have to look at our wounds, our suffering, the things that have gotten in the way of our clear resonance towards our highest goals, right? We have all these things running on the subconscious layers of our bodies, of our emotions, of our minds, mental, you know, this is mind, body, soul stuff here. This is holistic. This isn't just what you think or remember. This is we have 3 phases of core wounding patterns. And these really begin at the moment that you're born, because that's where wound comes from. Womb. It's the same roots. It's the separation. You were in unified wholeness with all your needs being met, and you were then birthed through this canal and plopped into this world and separated from mother. And that's the first wound, and that's the core seed of all of our pain and suffering is separation, or the perception of separation. So when you can understand what your core wounds are, and there are 6 main ones, in your journey to know thyself, we are encoded as we go with 3 ranges of suffering, of pain, of wounds, and that is from 0 to age 8, 8 to 14, and 14 to 21. Of course, we have adult wounds as well, but if you can put the pieces of the puzzle together and drop into your heart space and embody the remedy. I always say your mess is your medicine. I wrote an entire journal about your mess is your medicine. But it's true. It's this unseen grace, where oftentimes it's like that Rolling Stones song. You can't, you don't always get what you want, but you get what you need. And that's how the law of attraction works when you come encoded with these patterns, these archetypical patterns, and you have to rise up through, the hero's journey of it all, and starting again, and it's cyclical. And so you always get what you need, even if it doesn't feel like that's what you want. And I think that's where the law of attraction, people denounce it and say, oh, yeah, right, this stuff doesn't work, because look at my life. I'm not living the life I want to live. Well, that's part of the journey, because all suffering is wishing for something to be other than it is. That's it. That's the only reason why we have pain, is because we're holding ourselves apart from the things we think we need to have in order to feel better. So what could understanding your pain do for you? Well, it's going to help you navigate it. It's going to help you apply the balming, centering synonym, there we go. Yeah, so synonyms, like attracts like. And if we're vibrating our wounds without realizing what's happening, those patterns are going to repeat. If we evoke and embalm ourselves with the opposite, right, the antonym, then we come into a center point, because we are at 2 different extremes into a neutral place, a center point of wholeness. That's what the root of the word healing is, a return to the memory of wholeness. And so the journey is enlightening, it's clarifying, it's defragmenting, and you will understand on a profound level the unseen grace in your pain, in your trauma. Now, you don't have to have a shitty childhood to do this work. You don't have to be like, oh my God, yes, I need to figure this out. It doesn't matter. We're all human. We've got encoded within us these pain points, if you will, these false perceptions of separation, which then follow us around magnetically through our life until we discover them and we decide to choose anew, to come into that point of resolution, resolving, and then we are made whole and can move on into our purpose. And there's a path that opens up when that happens. So, I want to introduce to you my brand new series that I'm going to be hosting over the next 6 weeks. You can join any part of the journey or all of it, and it's going to be donation based. again, I want to make this accessible for everyone. You will arrive within 3 days, right? What is that, a 72-hour window? I'm only making it accessible for 3 days. Why? Because you and I both know, and this is a statistic, people buy books, buy programs, they do stuff, they invest in themselves, and it just sits on the shelf. They never open it, they never do anything with it. So this is my loving way of saying, okay, commit. You know, is it $20 you want to donate? Great. You've got 3 days to consume the information, and then it goes away. Okay? This sense of urgency will get you off your ass and out of procrastination and into action. So that's why I'm doing that. Now, of course, there'll be an option for you to, if you're like, oh my God, this was, incredible, which most people will, then yes, you can always purchase the archives. And those will be there forever for you to dig deeper and deeper and deeper. Because that's just this, this is not a one and done thing. It's a very spherical, layered application. And again, I'm involving gene keys and human design because it is so potent and reliable for you to look at the layers and to dig deeper. Now, of course, I'm layering in water activation and assisting frequencies because that's my piece of the puzzle. But as a manifesting generator, I get it on a profoundly deep level how to use certain components that weave together into a bigger puzzle. So with that, I invite you to come to the Alchemical Academy Facebook group. Just search for Alchemical Academy, join the group, and you will be seeing later today, and if you're seeing this in replay, it's probably already there, in the events section and the posts, links to join this beautiful series. Again, it's a 3-part series, donation-based, and we're going to start with, well, the whole overarching thing is called Discover Your Pain, Purpose, Path. I love alliteration, so it's triple P. But, and hey, I want to just say, it's like, oh, discover my pain. No thanks. A lot of people don't want to do that. It doesn't sound comfortable. But it's only through shining a light in your shadow areas that you will discover, oh, this is the unseen grace. This is the stuff that's been holding me back from moving boldly into my purpose and to having a flow-based path. So that's why the 3-part series deals first with your pain, and then we dive into your genius zone, your purpose, and then we come into resonance with flow, which is the path of least resistance, where things are no longer by you. By me consciousness is very hard and laborious. There's the laws of the universe that you can use to elevate into a path of least resistance where you're working with the laws of the universe and your timing is just on, right? Your timing, and then you realize, I'm already connected to everything I need, and you move through flow state into as me. Everything's happening as you, and that's the place of where the path really opens up. So, discovering your pain, purpose, path. It's a series, and so follow me, subscribe, go to alchemical.academy. Actually, just go to the Facebook group. That's where I'm going to be doing all of the announcements and the links to join the first of 3 sessions. And as I said, you don't have to do all of them. And it's donation based. So ebb and flow, come in when you can. Do all 3 or just 1. And if you want to upgrade into the permanent archives, having all of this available to you for longer than the 3-day nudging, as I explained, got to create urgency and follow through, or people will just let it sit and never actually dive into it. So my loving way of putting a parameter on this is to say, look, it's donation based, so there's no excuse. Everyone can join. But, you got to press play, either joining us live or in replay. And then we're going to dive into how to take that information that you discover. Again, it's called discovering your pain, purpose, and path. How to take that discovery and actually do something about it, right? We're oftentimes good at understanding things, but not so great at taking action forward. It's disappointing to many of us because we have these big dreams and then we just let them sort of, we get distracted, along the way, along the journey. But there are quantum ways to align instantaneously with the resolution that you discover through this path, this process that I'm going to teach you, so that you can make more progress in the next month than you have in the last decade or more. And that's just how potent and powerful this path is. So that's all I wanted to say today. Is that this is what's been brewing for the last over a year now. And it's all coming together in the next few weeks. I do hope that you will join me. And isn't it beautiful? I wish you were here. It's the perfect temperature. The water is cold though. This is really kind of maybe I'd say 60 degrees, but the weather is in the 70s, so it's lovely here in Southwest Florida. And I will see you all over there again later today, or when you see this in replay. Head over to the Alchemical Academy Facebook group and to the events area, and you will see the series being set up and laid out. And we'll be diving into the first of the 3 in the series in very soon. The date will be there. It'll be a week at the most, or a week and a half, depending on the way the schedule works out. But the first step is to decide, I want to dive into my pain, not to wallow there, but to understand the unseen grace and how I work and how that mapping has actually helped me. It's been the fodder for where I'm headed. And by the way, where am I headed? That's where we get into your genius zone, into your actual purpose and the way that the path of least resistance, discovering your pain, your purpose, and the path. All right, guys, much love to you and yours. Hey, Valerie, how are you? I'll chat with y'all later. Have an amazing day. Bye for now.